Why Soviet authorities banned this French action thriller. When The Professional hit theaters in 1981, it quickly became one of France's most celebrated action films. Jean-Paul Belmondo's powerhouse performance and Ennio Morricone's haunting score, Chi Mai, elevated this thriller into legendary status. But what secrets lie behind the making of this film, and why did Soviet censors keep it from audiences for years? Real-world politics disguised as fiction. Director Georges Lautner adapted the film from Patrick Alexander's 1976 novel, The Death of a Thin-Skinned Animal. While the book was set in London, screenwriters Jacques and Michel Audiard relocated the story to France for compelling reasons. The narrative contained thinly veiled references to actual Franco-African relations. France's government, under Prime Minister Giscard d'Estaing, maintained controversial ties with Central African dictator Bokassa. The film substituted the fictional President Nyanjala of Malawi for Bokassa, but the parallels were unmistakable. Both the real and fictional leaders held the rank of colonel. Like Bokassa, who resided in a chateau near Paris after his overthrow, Nyanjala enjoys similar accommodations in the film. Even the fictional Malawi flag mirrors the Central African Republic's colors: green, yellow, red, and blue. The storyline about nuclear power plant construction echoes France's actual uranium mining operations in the region. The plot that captivated audiences. Belmondo reflected on his fortune in finding this project. The source material was exceptional, and the creative team crafted compelling dialogue and memorable characters that brought the story to life brilliantly. Secret agent Jocelyn Beaumont receives orders to eliminate African dictator Nyanjala. However, political winds shift dramatically during his mission. As France reconciles with the dictator, Beaumont becomes expendable, handed over to African authorities as a diplomatic gesture. After enduring torture and drug-induced interrogation, Beaumont spends years imprisoned in a labor camp. Upon escaping and returning to Paris, he announces his intention to complete his original assignment. This sets off a deadly game of cat and mouse with his former employers.
Belmondo's athletic background shaped his career. The star's rebellious youth saw him expelled from 3 schools for fighting and troublemaking. Channeling his energy into sports, the 18-year-old Belmondo became Paris's welterweight boxing champion and joined France's national team. His broken nose, a distinctive feature throughout his career, was a souvenir from those boxing days. This athletic foundation meant Belmondo performed his own stunts, even the most dangerous ones. During The Professional, he insisted on doing the intense car chase sequence at Trocadero Plaza himself, refusing any stunt doubles. Only at age 60 in 1993 did Belmondo announce his retirement from action sequences. As he put it, he had no desire to become French cinema's flying grandfather and had grown weary of chasing villains and police. The controversial ending almost changed. Few know about the alternative conclusion that was considered. Producers strongly advocated for a happy ending where Beaumont escapes by helicopter. However, Lautner and Belmondo successfully argued for the darker original finale, where the hero dies. Their reasoning proved persuasive. A happy ending would undermine both the climax and the entire narrative arc.
An accidental injury became part of the story. Bernard Pierre Donadieu played Inspector Farges, one of the main antagonists, who ultimately kills Beaumont. Their bar confrontation, where Beaumont breaks Farges's nose in revenge for violence against his wife, became one of the film's most striking scenes. The broken nose wasn't scripted. During the first take, Donadieu's fall looked convincing, but Lautner requested another take. This time, Donadieu went further than planned and struck his nose hard on the billiard table edge. That's why Farges appears with a distinctive mark throughout the rest of the film. A real criminal infiltrated the cast. Yugoslav fugitive Hugo Jovanovic appeared in the film as one of Beaumont's pursuers, though his name never appeared in the credits. During the late 1970s and early 1980s, French authorities listed him as one of their most wanted criminals for numerous jewelry store robberies in Cannes and Paris. How he ended up on set remained mysterious even to the filmmakers. His appearances are brief, including a meeting scene with secret agents where his stolen Rolex watch is clearly visible. Imagine the surprise of French police officers spotting this wanted criminal on cinema screens. Jovanović apparently harbored acting ambitions, but fate intervened. 3 years after the film's release, he died in an armed confrontation. Soviet censorship and the long road to release. In France, The Professional became an immediate box office sensation, attracting over 5.2 million viewers in its first year. Soviet audiences got their first glimpse at a 1982 French film festival, where the response was overwhelmingly positive. Rights were quickly purchased for Soviet distribution. By 1983, dubbing was complete at the Maxim Gorky Film Studio, and a premiere seemed imminent. Then filmmakers made a critical mistake. To generate interest, they showcased the film on Kino Panorama, a hugely popular television program. In March 1983, host Eldar Yazanov devoted roughly 30 minutes to The Professional, discussing its production history and screening highlights. Unfortunately, Goskino officials also watched this broadcast. They objected to releasing a film filled with violence and erotic content to Soviet audiences. The Professional was shelved. Another screening attempt occurred at the 1985 Moscow Film Festival, but only a few theaters showed it. The dubbed version had mysteriously vanished, leaving only the original copy. Audiences watched the French version with live translation by an interpreter working in the theater. The Professional wasn't redubbed and released widely in the USSR until 1990. A final cinematic mystery. Here's an intriguing detail. In the final scene, after Beaumont's death, the helicopter visible in earlier shots mysteriously disappears when the camera pulls back. Where did it go?